the 6-2 profile. So we always like
Right.
to start out with our house analogy. Danny, if you want to take it away.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do all the other floors,
No,
just
just do the 6 and the
so
2.
the
Yeah.
6 and the 2. So the lady on the roof, the 6 is the emblematic climb up onto the roof, but they live out this three-part life cycle. They are the ones really marshaling us through this life, their energy is, shall I say. And they start out as a third line, so that's the thing. Everywhere you see a 6 line in your design, like a point 6 at the end of the number, the gate number, uh, you know, if you're under 28 years old, 28.6 years old, that's a third line. You can read it as a third line and the whole line. So it's really this very rich life because they start out one way and then they end up going up onto the roof after a long period of it's a lot of trial this, try that, sustaining, bumping into things. They go up on a roof, they stay there. There's a certain aloofness and withdrawal. It reminds us of a second line, but it's not the same thing. The hermit's naturally there the whole time. The 6 has to put a ladder up against the side of the house and like climb up, and they do. Um, Second line, unconscious, this thing is the hermit. And I know she's sitting there looking out the window, but pretend she's looking inside and just milling about, and there's a little parade going by outside, and she has no idea. Everyone's looking in, they can see, but she just doesn't know. The hermit is the natural, and they seek harmony as this medium of their creativity. And they they're the Democrat and their projected attitude, the way they work in the world, and they just want to sort of get along and have that harmony. They are the hermit. They sidestep and isolate easily, naturally. They're perfectly happy. So the role model hermit is the name of this profile.
Perfecto. So, core traits. So, they are born to be the kind of adult that their child self would admire, right? They have high standards and big goals, and they're always striving for excellence. That's coming from their sixth line, I would say. Often seen as wise and authoritative, even
Mhm.
at a young age, and they naturally gravitate towards meaningful and impactful experiences. And they excel at managing situations with grace and poise. There's a little regalness to them.
Yes, it's wicked regal. That situations with grace and poise is a learned process because their projected attitude, this thing that they live out mostly shared into the world, is called the administrator. It literally is, and it doesn't mean they're pushing paper at all. It's just they're administrating a house, a life, or whatever, and often sees as this authoritative figure. I love that line. It's another process they grow into. It's not that they're seen that way young, but they are sort of projected upon that they will be that. And so as they grow older, you go to the fifth line goes to the sixth line for final confirmation if you want to anthropomorphize it. So this is core traits. I like it.
Okay, cool. So take it away, learning and authority.
Yeah, so this learning and authority, it focused on pursuing their inner ideals, measuring success by personal standards, and that's that personal way that ends up being the motivation of a six color. It's personal. Um, Avoid getting bogged down by these trivial matters, aiming for higher achievements. And hell yeah, that's true because the sixth line looks out over all of the circuitry it's in. That's the thing. It doesn't just look out over itself. It's looking out over everything. So one thing it's not going to get stuck on. Um, Accept that others have different strengths, respects those with difference, respects and steps away to those with difference. Not necessarily exclusively, but it's more than just respects. It's observes and they may respect it, but they not might don't have to like it. They will be sharp with their with how they feel about things. Gaining wisdom from early in life experiences, that's that third line process they're living out, learning through this bumping into trial and error, mutative way. It's wicked mutative. It's always something new coming out. And then balances high standards with this gentle approach towards themselves and importantly towards the other. It's sort of standing back that up on the roof, even though they have to come down at some point and enter the world more so than they were, it's not even objective anymore. It's just so personal that you might not even know you're being observed.
Hmm.
It's their measurement that is the important thing. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you, Danny. So there are challenges and empowerment. So navigate the challenges of overcommitment, right? Avoid feeling
Mm,
overwhelmed. Build trust and delegate tasks only when you have like a confidence in the other that they can do it. Otherwise, it could cause more stress. Approach relationships with a focus on love and understanding. Encourage personal growth by focusing on meaningful, not trivial pursuits. And lastly, embrace the role of being a role model and inspiring others by being your authentic self.
That role model thing is so elusive, Moana. Think about it. Be a role model. Role model of what? And it's
Mhm.
only in your experiment as you see how you operate, you recognize by being yourself, you become the role model. So it
Exactly. Yep.
yeah, it's sort of like it's not a high impact thing. It's you just have to be it, you know? Yeah, I love this. This is good.
Right. All right. And you can take it home, Danny.
Yeah. So in conclusion, um, offer clear and unbiased insights as an objective observer, a personally objective observer. Share their unique gifts with optimism, and that optimism is so important because it's inspiring hope in others. It stays optimistic. That's one thing that they do get. This main value of theirs is trust. So the connections have to have everything in their relationship, and they really should. Don't go without things that you see that you think you need. Um, so that avoids you of the superficiality is really what that does. Supports exploration and learning from the mistake. They never leave that third line phase fully. It's always with them as it's supposed to be, as the counterweight guide to what they're doing. And they both lead and learn by example, showing the way to just this genuine fulfillment of life and this fulfilled way of being. So there's your conclusion.
Amazing. Thank you so much